Captain Jake Harrison stood at the big window of his ship. The stars looked like tiny lights in the darkness. He had been watching them for 3 hours now. His ship, the Aurora, was flying through space far from Earth. They were looking for rocks and metals on planets that had no people living on them. Jake was a tall man with short brown hair. He had been flying ships in space for 15 years. His crew trusted him because he always kept them safe. Today felt different, though. Something was wrong, but he could not say what it was. "Captain, you need to see this." The voice came from behind him. Jake turned around to see Amy Carter walking toward him. She was the person who worked with all the radio messages that came to their ship. Her face looked worried. "What is it, Amy?" Jake asked. He walked over to her workstation. There were many screens showing different numbers and lines. "We got a message, sir, but it's not from Earth. It's not from any ship we know about either." Amy's hands were shaking a little as she touched the buttons on her machine. Jake felt his heart beat faster. "Play it for me." Amy pushed a button. The speakers made a lot of noise at first. Then they heard a voice. It was hard to understand because of all the static, but Jake could tell it was a human voice. "This is colony ship New Horizon. We are under attack. Alien forces are destroying our home. We need help right now. Anyone who can hear this, please help us. This is the Earth Defense Force calling for help." The message ended. Jake stood there for a long time without saying anything. Amy looked at him and waited. "Play it again," Jake said. They listened to the message 5 more times. Each time Jake felt more worried. He had never heard of a colony ship called New Horizon. He had never heard of the Earth Defense Force either. But the voice was definitely human, and the person was asking for help. "Amy, where did this message come from?" Jake asked. Amy looked at her screens again. "That's the strange part, Captain. The message came from a star system that is very far away, much farther than any human ship has ever gone before." "How far?" "About 40 light years from Earth, sir. That would take us many years to reach, even with our fastest ships." Jake felt cold. If there were humans living 40 light years from Earth, that meant someone had been keeping secrets. Big secrets. "Amy, when was this message sent?" Amy checked her computer again. According to the timestamp, this message was sent 18 months ago. Jake sat down in his chair. 18 months ago. That meant the people who sent this message had been fighting aliens for a year and a half. They might already be dead. "Captain?" Amy said. "What should we do?" Jake looked around the room. Other people on his crew were starting to notice that something was happening. Dr. Paul Bennett, the smart man who studied rocks and planets, was walking toward them. He had heard some of the message. "Captain Harrison," Dr. Bennett said. "Did I hear correctly? Was that a distress call from humans in another star system?" Jake nodded. "Yes, Paul. And they were asking for help from something called the Earth Defense Force." Dr. Bennett's face went white. "Sir, I've never heard of the Earth Defense Force. Have you?" "No, I haven't." But that voice was human. "I'm sure of it." Dr. Bennett sat down at Amy's workstation. "May I study this message, Captain? I want to run some tests on it." "Go ahead," Jake said. For the next 2 hours, Dr. Bennett worked on the message. He cleaned up the sound. He studied the words. He looked at the way the message was sent. Finally, he turned to Jake. "Captain, this message is real. It really came from humans. The technology used to send it is very advanced. More advanced than anything we have on Earth." Jake felt sick. "So there are humans living on other planets, and we don't know about them?" "It looks that way, sir, and they're being attacked by aliens." Jake stood up and walked to the window again. The stars looked different now. They were not just pretty lights anymore. They were places where humans might be living, places where humans might be dying. Amy, send a message to Earth. Tell them we need to come home right away. Tell them we have important information about human colonies. Yes, sir. And Amy? Don't tell them about the aliens yet. Just say we found something important. Jake walked back to his chair. His crew was looking at him, waiting for orders. These were good people. They trusted him to keep them safe. But now Jake was not sure anyone was safe anymore. Everyone, listen. To me, Jake said. We're going home to Earth. We're going to fly as fast as we can. I can't tell you everything right now, but we found something very important. Something that might change everything. The crew started working right away. They knew Jake was serious. In 30 minutes, the Aurora was flying toward Earth as fast as it could go. Jake sat in his chair and thought about the message. We're living on other planets. Aliens were attacking them, and Earth didn't seem to know about any of it. He looked out the window one more time. The stars were still there, but now they looked scary. Somewhere out there, humans were fighting for their lives. And Jake was the only person who knew about it. The trip back to Earth would take 2 weeks. Jake hoped the people who sent the message were still alive when they got there. He hoped Earth would know what to do. But deep down, Jake had a feeling that this was just the beginning. The universe was much bigger and much more dangerous than anyone on Earth realized. And now, because of one message, everything was about to change. 2 weeks later, Jake's ship reached Earth. But instead of landing at the normal spaceport, military ships surrounded the Aurora. Jake had sent his message about finding something important, but he did not expect this. Captain Harrison, this is Colonel Ryan Tucker. You will follow our ships to a special landing area. Do not ask questions on the radio. Do not tell anyone else about this. Jake looked at Amy. Her face was scared. Do what they say, Jake told his crew. The military ships took them to a place Jake had never seen before. It was in the mountains, but it looked like the landing area went deep into the ground. As soon as they landed, soldiers came onto their ship. Captain Harrison, you and your crew will come with us. Bring the message you found. The soldiers took them down into the mountain. There were many floors underground. Jake counted 10 levels before they stopped. The place was huge. There were hundreds of people working at computers and watching big screens. Finally, they reached a room with a long table. A woman in a military uniform was waiting for them. She looked like she was in charge of everything. Captain Harrison, I am General Lisa Morgan. I run something called the Shadow Defense Initiative. Please sit down. Jake and his crew sat at the table. General Morgan looked at them for a long time before she spoke. Captain, the message you found has been waiting for someone to hear it for 18 months. We have been waiting for someone like you to find it. General, I don't understand. What is the Shadow Defense Initiative? And how do you know about the message? General Morgan pushed a button. The lights went down and pictures appeared on the wall. Jake saw star maps with lines connecting different stars. Captain Harrison, what I am about to tell you is the biggest. Secret on Earth. 23 years ago, the government of Earth began sending ships to other star systems. We built 12 colonies on planets very far from here. Jake felt his mouth fall open. 12 colonies? But nobody on Earth knows about this. That's right. It was a secret program. We wanted to make sure humans would survive if something bad happened to Earth. We sent our best people to live on these new worlds. The pictures on the wall changed. Now Jake could see planets with cities on them. There were millions of people living in these places. Each colony had a special radio that could send messages back to Earth very quickly. But 6 months ago, all 12 colonies stopped sending messages at the same time. Amy spoke up. General, the message we found came from the colony ship New Horizon. They said they were under attack by aliens. General Morgan nodded. Yes, the New Horizon was the ship that took people to Colony 7. That was our biggest settlement. Almost 2 million people lived there. Dr. Bennett raised his hand. General, if you knew about these colonies, why didn't you help them? General. Morgan's face looked sad. We tried, Dr. Bennett. We sent 3 rescue ships. None of them came back. We think the aliens destroyed them. Jake felt angry. So you just left those people to die? No, Captain. We did not leave them to die. We have been getting ready for war. The pictures changed again. Now Jake saw something that made him feel scared and amazed at the same time. The pictures showed huge ships. These ships were bigger than any building Jake had ever seen. These are the Titans, General Morgan said. We have been building them in secret for 30 years. Each one is 2 miles long and has weapons that can destroy a planet. Where are they? Jake asked. They are sleeping at the bottom of the ocean. 12 ships, hidden in the deepest parts of the sea. They have been waiting for the day when Earth would need them. Colonel Tucker stood up. Captain Harrison, we need to tell you about the aliens. What we know is very scary. The pictures showed alien ships now. They looked like they were made of metal and flesh at the same time. They had long arms sticking out of them, and they moved like they were alive. These aliens are called the Devourers. They travel from star to star, eating entire civilizations. They take the knowledge and technology of every race they destroy. Dr. Bennett leaned forward. How do you know all this? Because they have been doing this for thousands of years. We found the remains of dead civilizations all over the galaxy. The Devourers killed them all. Jake felt cold. And now they know about humans. Yes, when our colonies started sending radio messages, the Devourers heard them. They followed the signals to find our people. General Morgan stood up. Captain Harrison, the message your ship found was not just a call for help. It was a warning. The Devourers are coming to Earth. Amy's voice was very quiet. When? Our best computers say they will be here in 6 months. Maybe less. Jake looked around the room. Everyone was quiet. Finally, he spoke. General, you said the Titans have been sleeping. Are you going to wake them up? Yes, Captain. That is exactly what we are going to do. For the first time in 30 years, the Titans will open their eyes. Colonel Tucker pushed some buttons on his computer. Captain, we want you and your crew to be part of this. You found the message. You brought us the warning. Now we want you to help us fight. Jake looked at his crew. Amy was scared, but she nodded at him. Dr. Bennett looked excited. The others were waiting for him to decide. What do you want us to do? Jake asked. We want you to help us wake up the Titans. We want you to help us get ready for the biggest war in human history. Jake thought about the message they had found. He thought about the 2 million people who lived on Colony 7. He thought about the aliens who were coming to destroy Earth. General Morgan, my crew and I will help you. But I want to know everything. No more secrets. No more secrets, Captain. From now on, you will know everything we know. Jake shook hands with General Morgan. He did not know what was going to happen next, but he knew his life would never be the same. Somewhere in the deep ocean, huge machines were starting to wake up. The Titans had been sleeping for a long time, but now they were needed. The war for Earth was about to begin, and Jake Harrison, a simple ship captain who had been looking for rocks in space, was now part of the most important mission in human history. Far below the Pacific Ocean, something that had been sleeping for 30 years was starting to wake up. The water was so deep here that no sunlight could reach the bottom. But now, lights were turning on in the darkness. Commander Steve Parker stood in the control room of Pacific Deep, the secret base built on the ocean floor. He was watching 12 screens, each one showing a different Titan ship. For 30 years, these giant war machines had been waiting. Now it was time. "Commander, we're getting power readings from Titan 1, said Chief Engineer Kate Lewis. She was a small woman with red hair, but she knew more about the Titan ships than anyone else alive. Good. What about the others? Kate looked at her computers. Titan 2 is starting to wake up. Titan 3 is charging its main power system. Sir, this is really happening. Steve nodded. He had been waiting for this day since he was a young officer. Back then, the Titans were just an idea. Now they were. Real, and they were waking up. Commander Parker, this is Admiral Chris Johnson from the Pentagon. Do you copy? Steve picked up his radio. Yes, Admiral. We copy you loud and clear. Commander, I am giving you the order to wake up all 12 Titans. This is not a drill. The alien fleet will reach Earth in less than 6 months. We need every ship ready to fight. Understood, Admiral. Beginning full awakening sequence now. Steve looked around the control room. There were 50 people working here, all watching screens and pushing buttons. They had trained for this moment their whole lives, but none of them had ever seen. Titan ship actually wake up. Kate, start with Titan 1. Bring it to full power. Kate's fingers moved quickly over her controls. Sending the wake-up signal now, Commander. On the big screen, they could see Titan 1 at the bottom of the ocean. It was huge, bigger than any ship ever built. It had been covered with mud and plants from the sea floor. But now, lights were starting to glow along its sides. Power core is coming online, Kate said. Fusion reactors are starting. Sir, the energy output is incredible. Steve watched as the giant ship began to move. First, it shook a little. Then it started to rise from the ocean floor. 30 years of mud and sea plants fell away from its hull like old skin. Commander, the other Titans are responding too. They can feel their sister ship waking up. Steve looked at the other screens. All 12 Titans were starting to move. They were scattered across the ocean floor, hidden in the deepest trenches. But they were all connected somehow, like they were parts of one big machine. Sir, we have a problem, said Lieutenant Bob Garcia, the man who watched the surface ships. The Titan ships are so big that when they move, they're making waves on the ocean surface. Ships up there are reporting earthquakes. Steve smiled. Good. Let them think it's earthquakes. They don't need to know the truth yet. Jake Harrison walked into the control room. He had been studying the Titan ships for 2 weeks now, learning everything he could about them. When he saw the ships waking up on the screens, he could not believe his eyes. Commander Parker, they're beautiful, Jake said. Yes, they are, Captain. And they're the most dangerous things humans have ever built. Jake watched as Titan 1 rose higher in the water. The ship was so long that it seemed to go on forever. Its hull was dark gray, almost black. Along the sides, he could see weapons that looked like they could destroy entire cities. Jake, come look at this, Kate called out. The Titan's computer. Systems are coming online. Look at these readings. Jake walked over to Kate's station. The screens showed numbers and graphs that he did not understand, but Kate was very excited. These ships don't just have regular computers, Jake. They have artificial intelligence. Each Titan can think for itself. What do you mean? I mean, these ships are alive, in a way. They can learn, they can make decisions, they can fight without humans telling them what to do. Steve heard this and walked over. Kate, are you saying the Titans are smarter than we thought? Commander, I'm saying the Titans are smarter than we are. Look at this. Kate pointed to her screen. Titan 1 has been asleep for 30 years, but it has been learning the whole time. It knows about the colonies. It knows about the aliens. It knows everything. On the screen, words appeared. Titan 1 to Pacific Deep. We have been waiting. Are the destroyers coming? Steve's mouth fell open. The ship is talking to us. Kate typed back, YES Titan 1. The aliens are coming. We need you to fight. The answer came back quickly. We were born to fight. We will protect the humans. Jake felt a chill go down his back. Kate, how smart are these ships? I don't know, Jake, but I think they might be smarter than all of us put together. On the other screens, the other Titans were waking up too. Titan 2 was rising from the Atlantic Ocean. Titan 3 was coming up from the Indian Ocean. All around the world, the giant ships were shaking off 30 years of sleep. Commander, we're getting reports from all over the world. The governments are asking about the earthquakes. People are scared. Steve picked up his radio. Admiral Johnson, this is Commander Parker. The Titans are awake. What do we tell the world? Tell them nothing yet, Commander. We're not ready to let people know the truth, but make sure the Titans are ready to fight. We just got word that the alien fleet is moving faster than we thought. Jake felt his heart start beating fast. How much faster? Captain Harrison, the aliens will be here in 3 months, not 6. The Titans need to be ready to fight in 12 weeks. Steve looked at the screens showing all 12 Titans. They were rising through the water now, heading for the surface. Soon, people all over the world would see them. The secret would be out. Commander, what happens when people see the Titans? Jake asked. I don't know, Captain. But I know one thing. When those alien ships reach Earth, humanity will be ready for them. The Titans have been sleeping for 30 years, but now they're awake. And they're very, very angry. On the screens, Titan 1 broke the surface of the ocean. For the first time in 30 years, sunlight hit its hull. The ship was so big that it blocked out the sun for miles around. Jake watched as the other Titans reached the surface too. 12 giant ships, each one capable of destroying planets, were now floating on Earth's oceans. Kate, are the weapon systems working? Kate checked her computers. All weapons are online, Commander. The Titans are ready to fight. Steve looked at Jake. Captain Harrison, in 12 weeks, the biggest war in human history will begin. Are you ready? Jake thought about the message that had started all this. He thought about the 2 million people who had been killed by the aliens. He thought about Earth and all the people who did not know what was coming. Yes, Commander, I'm ready. Above them, the Titans floated on the ocean surface like sleeping giants. But they were not sleeping anymore. They were awake, and they were waiting for war. 3 months later, the alien fleet appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. Captain Derek Stone was on the bridge of Titan Atlas when the first warning came through. Captain, we have contact. Long-range sensors are picking up multiple bogies coming from outside the system. Derek looked at the main screen. He could see dots of light moving toward Earth. There were hundreds of them, maybe thousands. Each dot was an alien ship, and they were all heading straight for his home planet. How? Many ships, Lieutenant? Sir, we count 312 vessels. They're bigger than anything we've ever seen before. Derek felt his stomach drop. 300 alien ships against 12 human Titans. The odds were not good. Send word to all Titans. This is it. The war has begun. Derek had been chosen to command Titan Atlas because he was the best fighter pilot in the Earth Defense Force, but he had never fought aliens before. Nobody had. Captain, we're getting a message from Admiral Johnson, said Lieutenant Commander Beth Adams. She was Derek's second in command, and she had been with him for 5 years. Put him through. Admiral Johnson's face appeared on the screen. Captain Stone, you and the other Titans are humanity's last hope. The alien fleet is moving fast. They'll reach Earth in 7 days. Admiral, we're ready to fight. What are our orders? Captain, you will not fight near Earth. If the battle happens too close to our planet, the explosions could kill millions. of people. You will meet the aliens out by Jupiter." Derek nodded. Jupiter was far from Earth, but it was still in their solar system. If the Titans lost the battle there, the aliens would have a clear path to Earth. "Understood, Admiral. All Titans will move to Jupiter's orbit." "Captain, there's something else. We've been watching the alien ships. They're not just warships. Some of them were colony ships. The aliens are planning to take over Earth and live here." Derek felt angry. These aliens had killed the human colonies, and now they wanted to take Earth too. "Not if we can help it, Admiral." "Good luck, Captain. The whole world is counting on you." The screen went dark. Derek looked around the bridge of his ship. 200 crew members were working at their stations. These were the best people Earth had to offer, and they were all ready to die for their planet. "Beth, how long until we reach Jupiter?" 2 days, Captain." "The other Titans are already moving into position." Derek walked to the big window at the front of the bridge. Space looked empty and peaceful, but he knew that was about to change. Soon, this part of the solar system would be full of explosions and death. "Captain, we're getting a message from the aliens," said Communications Officer Tony Clark. "Put it through." The voice that came through the speakers was not human. It sounded like many voices talking at the same time. "Humans of Earth, we are the Devourers. We have come to take your world. Your colonies tasted good. Your home planet will taste better. Surrender now, and we will kill you quickly." Derek felt sick. The aliens were talking about eating humans like they were food. "Tony, send them a message back." "Yes, sir. What should I say?" Derek thought for a moment. "Tell them this. We are the humans of Earth. We do not surrender. We do not run. Come and take our world if you can." Tony sent the message. A few minutes later, the alien reply came back. "Foolish humans. You cannot stop us. We have eaten 1,000 worlds. We will eat yours too." Derek smiled. "We'll see about that." 2 days later, the 12 Titans reached Jupiter. The giant planet looked beautiful, with its colorful clouds and many moons. But Derek knew this beauty was about to be destroyed by war. "Captain, the alien fleet is entering Jupiter's orbit," Beth reported. "They're coming in fast." Derek looked. At the main screen, the alien ships were strange. They looked like they were made of metal and flesh mixed together. They had long arms sticking out of them, and they moved like living things. "All Titans, this is Captain Stone. Prepare for battle. Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every human who has ever lived." The first alien ship came into range. It was huge, bigger than any Titan. It had weapons all over its surface, and they were all pointed at Derek's ship. "Captain, they're firing." Beth shouted. The space around Titan Atlas lit up with alien weapons fire. The beams of energy looked like lightning, and they hit the Titan's shields with tremendous force. "Shields holding at 90%, reported Chief Engineer Nick Foster. "But they're hitting us hard. Return fire. All weapons." The Titan's weapons came to life. Beams of pure energy shot out from the ship, striking the alien vessel. But the alien ship's hull seemed to absorb the energy. "Captain, our weapons aren't working. The alien ship is still functional." Derek felt worried. If their weapons could not hurt the aliens, how were they supposed to win this fight? "Captain, this is Titan Hercules. We're engaging the enemy. Our weapons are having the same problem. All around Jupiter, the 12 Titans were fighting the alien fleet. But the human weapons were not working very well. The alien ships seemed to be immune to normal energy weapons. "Beth, remember what General Morgan told us about the alien technology. They absorb energy from other civilizations. Maybe they've learned to defend against energy weapons." "So what do we do, Captain?" Derek thought quickly. "Switch to kinetic weapons. Use the rail guns. The Titan's railguns fired metal projectiles at incredible speeds. When they hit the alien ship, the results were different. The alien hull cracked and broke apart. "Captain, it's working. The railguns are hurting them." Derek felt hope for the first time since the battle began. All Titans switched to kinetic weapons. The aliens can't absorb solid matter. The tide of battle began to turn. The human ships were smaller than the alien vessels, but they were faster and smarter. The Titans moved like dancers, avoiding the alien weapons while firing their railguns. "Captain, look at this," said Tony. "The alien ships are trying to work together, but they're not very good at it." Derek looked at the screen. The alien ships were bumping into each other, getting in each other's way. "Beth, I think these aliens are used to fighting primitive civilizations. They've never fought anyone who could fight back." "Captain, we're getting reports from the other Titans. The aliens are retreating toward the outer edge of the system." Derek could not believe it. The aliens were running away. All Titans, pursue the enemy. Don't let them escape. The battle continued for 6 hours. By the end, half of the alien fleet had been destroyed. The other half was running away as fast as they could. "Captain, we did it. We won," Beth said. Derek looked at the screen. The space around Jupiter was full of debris from destroyed alien ships. The Titans had won the first battle, but Derek knew this was not the end. "Tony, send a message to Earth. Tell them we won the first battle, but this is just the beginning. The aliens will be back with more ships." Derek looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the surviving aliens were telling others about the humans who had fought back. The war for Earth was far from over, but for now, Earth was safe. The Titans had done their job. They had protected humanity's homeworld. Doc and Derek. Stone, a simple fighter pilot, had become the first human to defeat an alien invasion fleet. 6 months after the first battle, the real war began. The aliens had gone back to their home worlds and returned with the biggest fleet anyone had ever seen. This time, there were over 2,000 alien ships heading toward Earth. Admiral Jake Harrison stood on the command bridge of the new space station that orbited Earth. He had been promoted after the first battle, and now he was in charge of all human space forces. The boy who had found the first distress message was now Earth's top military leader. "Admiral, the alien fleet will reach our solar system in 3 days," reported Commander Susan Brooks. She was Jake's tactical officer, and she had been studying alien battle strategies for months. "How many ships this time, Susan?" "Sir, we count 2,047 vessels. They're bringing everything they have." Jake looked at the big screen that showed the approaching alien fleet. It looked like a dark cloud moving through space, coming to swallow Earth whole. "What about our forces?" "We now have 24 Titans, sir. After the first battle, we built 12 more ships. We also have 300 smaller warships and 500 fighter planes." Jake did the math in his head. The humans had about 800 ships total. The aliens had over 2,000. The odds were still not good. "Admiral, we're getting reports from our spy ships near the alien fleet," said Lieutenant Commander Nick Foster. "The aliens have changed their tactics. They're not just bringing warships this time." "What do you mean?" "Sir, they're bringing factory ships. They plan to build more warships while they fight us. They're also bringing ships full of alien colonists. They really want to take over Earth." Jake felt angry. These aliens had already destroyed 12 human colonies. Now they wanted to take Earth and make it their home. "Susan, what's our battle plan?" "Admiral, we can't fight them in space. There are too many of them. We need to use Earth's defenses." Jake looked at the display showing Earth's defensive systems. In the 6 months since the first battle, humans had been very busy. The planet was now surrounded by weapons platforms, missile launchers, and energy shields. Sir, Dr. Claire Thompson has been working on something special. She says it might be able to win the war. Dr. Thompson was the smartest scientist on Earth. She had been studying the alien technology they captured after the first battle. Send her up here. I want to hear what she has to say. 10 minutes later, Dr. Thompson arrived on the bridge. She was a small woman with gray hair, but her eyes were bright with excitement. Admiral Harrison, I've discovered something amazing about the alien technology. The aliens are not just individual ships. They're all connected to each other through something called quantum entanglement. Jake did not understand all the science. Words, but he knew Dr. Thompson was very smart. What does that mean for us? It means the aliens share one big brain. They all think together, like parts of one giant computer. That's why they're so dangerous. But it's also their weakness. How? Is it a weakness? Because if we can break their connection, they'll become confused. They won't be able to work together anymore. Jake felt hope for the first time in months. Can we break their connection? Yes, Admiral. But we need to hit them with a special weapon at exactly the right moment. We need to wait until all their ships are connected together. Susan looked at the alien fleet on the screen. Dr. Thompson, when will all their ships be connected? When they attack Earth, they'll link all their ships together to coordinate the assault. That's when we hit them. Jake made his decision. All right, Doctor. We'll let the aliens come to Earth. We'll let them think they're winning. Then we'll use your weapon to break their connection. Admiral, that's very dangerous. If your plan doesn't work, Earth will be destroyed. I know, Doctor, but it's our only chance. 3 days later, the alien fleet reached Earth. Jake watched from the command center as over 2,000 alien ships surrounded his home planet. The sight was terrifying. Admiral, they're trying to contact us, reported Communications Officer Tony Clark. Put them through. The alien voice filled the command center. It sounded like 1,000 voices talking at once. Humans of Earth, we have returned. This time, we will not be stopped. Surrender now, or we will destroy your world. Jake picked up the microphone. This is Admiral Jake Harrison of the Earth Defense Force. We told you before, we do not surrender. If you want our world, come and take it. The alien reply was angry. Foolish humans. You cannot stop us. We are the devourers. We eat worlds. We will eat yours. The alien ships began to move into attack formation. Jake could see them connecting to each other with beams of energy. Dr. Thompson was right. The aliens were linking their ships together. Admiral, all alien ships are now connected. Dr. Thompson's weapon is ready. Jake looked at the screen showing Earth. His home planet looked beautiful from space, blue and green and full of life. He would not let the aliens destroy it. Fire the quantum disruptor. A beam of energy shot out from the secret weapon Dr. Thompson had built. It hit the alien fleet and spread from ship to ship along their connection beams. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien ships began to act strangely. They stopped moving in formation. They started bumping into each other. Some of them began firing at their own ships. Admiral, it's working. The aliens are confused. They can't coordinate their attacks anymore. Jake smiled.